So yeah, I had some assumptions on what I thought Real Broker was gonna be like. And if you're not with Real Broker already, I'm sure you probably have some assumptions too. So I'm gonna go ahead and break down some of the talking points about Real Broker, what my assumptions were, and why it's not what I thought. Okay, first of all, you probably already know that Real Broker is kind of a new age cloud-based brokerage, right? They pride themselves on their technology, their culture, and their many different revenue streams. And I'll wholly admit that one of the most desirable factors for me joining Real was the low cost. I didn't really care about the 85-15 splits. It could have been 70-30 splits for all I care. I was really most interested in the cap, the low cap they have. Now I have to say this, for those of you who don't know, and you probably all do know, it was just me. I was out on an island. I didn't know. I lived in a very sheltered environment at my last brokerage. And so I didn't know about caps because I didn't have one. Anyway, caps are the maximum amount that you'll pay into your brokerage based upon your splits. So if it's 75-25, all that 25% of your commission checks all go into the company until you hit a certain level, right? No matter what the split is, however the split is. Whatever you pay in, that's the max that you'll pay in. So some companies have like a $20,000 cap or a $25,000 cap. And then some companies have different splits. They've got 85-15 split, or they've got a 70-30 split. So there's splits and there's caps, right? Splits are different everywhere, caps are different everywhere, and some people don't even have caps. Again, my company didn't have a cap. I didn't even know what it was at the time. So the cap was one of the most important things for me that I found out about when I joined Real Broker. Didn't even care about the splits. So the cap at Real Broker is $12,000. After I paid my $12,000 via the 85-15 split, which is already a great split, I'm done. And I can keep the rest of my commission checks for the rest of the year. Now there is a small, couple $100 per transaction fee after you cap, but that's such a minor detail, right? Okay, so that was one of the main reasons why I joined. The other reason was because a bunch of my peers from the kind of video content creation YouTube world were already over there. Again, Real Broker is kind of a new age brokerage that has already attracted a lot of kind of video content agents and creators, and I found value in being surrounded with those kinds of people so that we can all continue to kind of vibe off each other and help grow our businesses together. Now those were the two biggest reasons for me. But a few other reasons in general just to be aware of is Real's propensity for being a very high-end tech company. They really pride themselves on their tech. My last brokerage said they were big on tech, but they rarely built anything that really fully, completely worked. So I was skeptical going into this. Yeah, you say you're big on tech, sure. In my opinion, everybody says that. But I've actually been pretty surprised. But again, I didn't care. I was really focused there for the two reasons that I've already mentioned. I was there for the low fee and the video content creation community that they kind of already had going for them. But to my surprise, they do have some amazing tech. Their platforms work. They completely remade DigiSign themselves, so they have their own proprietary DigiSign software. Works just like DigiSign, it's just branded different. Same thing with SkySlope. Like the transaction management, where you're putting in your files, checklists, stuff like that, it's all the same. It's the same exact system. They just rebuilt it for themselves to work the same. There's a massive central dashboard that gives you access to everything from your transactions, to marketing materials, to websites, to a huge training hub. And there's some amazing new stuff coming with respect to like AI integration. Whoa. I'll probably have to create a video on that later. And ultimately, the things that they know that they aren't great at, a CRM is a very big and powerful, type of software that they haven't fully recreated yet. However, I will say that they've already provided everybody at Real an extremely discounted rate on one of the best CRMs out there in existence called Lofty. So if you've never heard of Lofty CRM, it's big, it's powerful. I haven't even sifted through everything that it's capable of doing. It's almost overwhelming, almost. if that's something that's interesting to you, you should probably check that out. It comes to Agents of Real for like $40 a month, which is really cheap. Again, if you don't want to use it, you don't have to. That's an optional thing. I should also probably mention that I've used plenty of other CRMs, Boomtown, Follow Up Boss. There are some really great ones out there. Lofty is just as good, if not better than all of those. Then there's the fact that Real is a publicly traded company. And when you work for Real, you can participate in their stock plan and actually be awarded stock in the company. Again, great perk, cool in theory, but not why I joined. However, I will tell you that I did opt into the stock plan, and I have doubled what I've put into it over the course of this year and have more than made up what I've paid into the company with my splits and my cap. So technically, I got paid to work at Real this year. It's been nothing but beneficial. So far, it might sound like I'm all in on Real Broker, right? And maybe you should be too. But I will tell you that there have been a few things that have been holding me back. Something just felt off, and it never really bothered me because I was getting what I needed out of Real. I've been fine there, but just something seemed off that maybe felt like it was going to keep Real from really taking off and being a really massive brokerage. Now, I recently went to Real's annual agent conference, their annual end of the year kind of celebration conference that they have called Real Rise. And I finally got a look at what I assumed was going to be Real's downfall. A little context here before we get started. One of the absolute biggest attractors to Real is this idea of rev share. The idea that we, the agents of Real, are in charge of the company growth, agent growth. So we attract and bring in new agents to Real. We tell our agent friends and peers about Real because that's how we're going to grow. I mean, we help grow the company that way. How else are we going to do it? There's no brick and mortar. It's a cloud-based brokerage. So the only way that agents can really learn about Real is by talking to other agents. And when agents do sign on with Real, they are supposed to name a sponsor, the person that kind of gave them the information and how to get started. And then the sponsor actually benefits directly from the agents they brought in and their revenue. This continues for 5 levels. The person that they brought on, all the way down through 5 levels. And they're probably gonna hate me for saying this, it's kind of a multi-level marketing thing, right? Now this actually carries some really amazing opportunities for people who are very influential in the real estate world. In fact, I know of and have heard of agents who are making 6 figures plus just on what's called agent attraction, where you get a bunch of people to sign up under you, they get a bunch of people to sign up under them, and it creates this massive network of people who are all paying a little bit up the tree to the top. They brought in so many agents that they are now living, that their primary source of income is just agents in their downline. Now, for those who are not familiar, Real is not the only company that does this. There are a number of other cloud-based brokerages that are all modeled this very similar way of rev share and tiering down, and EXP is one of them, LTP, there's a few others, but to be honest, this was kind of my rub. I felt that this rev share opportunity was only going to attract agents to the company who simply wanted to then attract other agents to the company and not focus on actually selling real estate. So imagine if I'm making money on somebody that I brought in their revenue, the homes that they've sold. If I get a little portion of all the homes that they've sold for them being underneath me, but they're not selling homes, then I'm not making any money either. You follow my logic? If nobody's selling homes, we're just putting people in downlines, nobody's making any money. And so that kind of got me thinking, like, maybe the entire rev share thing, these companies in general are not going to be successful because the agents that join them are not focused on selling real estate. They're just focusing on their downlines. So this is me coming clean and declaring that Real is not what I thought it was. So again, like I said before, I just got back from Real Rise and I joined literally a year ago in October, so I didn't get to go to the annual conference. So this is the first time that I got to be surrounded by other Real agents and figure out what it was really all about. To my surprise, of the 2,000 agents that came to this event in Las Vegas just a month or two ago, I had the opportunity to sit down and kind of speak one-on-one with probably 40 of them. And I gotta say, they were all killers. I mean, everybody I talked to absolutely crushed it and was a big time producer. I mean, not every single agent, that I talked to sold like, $20 million in volume, but there was a ton of team leaders. They had 5 to 10 to 15 people to 50 people on their team. And if they weren't team leaders, they were solo producers that did a lot of volume. It was genuinely impressive. And yes, some of them had downlines, but to be honest, most of them didn't. I think the number is somewhere between 85 to 90% of people at Real don't have downlines at all. They're just busy selling a crap load of real estate. They're all there for the same reason that I'm there. A cheaper alternative, great technology, good community, and the ability to operate their business the way that they want to operate it. I realize that this company is not for new agents who don't really know what they're doing and they just want to jump on a video camera and become an influencer. It's not that at all. Yikes. This is an agency for top producers who want to kick butt and keep their own money. And it's also not just agents who are big on social platforms. It was a wide mix of agents. Younger and older, teams and solo, old school, new school. There are agents who are growing their business organically. There are agents who are buying Zillow leads. There are agents doing cold calling. There are agents doing events. Real is a place for everyone. They have mentorship programs for newer agents all the way up to private label options for teams. You can bring your whole team over and not even have to say you're with Real. Just keep your own branding and your own name the way it is now. It was an eye-opening refresher to see the full spectrum of what Real Broker really is. I mean, they got so much cool tech coming, and one of the other things that I should probably maybe save for another video, but I do want to mention, is that the leadership team at Real has a ton of heart, just a lot of passion and a lot of heart for what they're doing. When Tamir speaks, you can actually and genuinely feel that he cares about everyone in the room. When Sharon speaks, you know that he actually cares more about your success than his personal success. The leadership team at Real are givers by nature. They're giving so much back to the Real community and the agents at the company that you can't help but be empowered to be the best version of yourself. Okay, well, got off on a little bit of a run there, sorry. It was just so cool. Hey, thanks for watching. If you're interested in joining Real, I would love to talk to you about it. I give you the subtleties that you can't always find at other channels or by talking to other agents. I'm becoming pretty passionate about this, and it's something that I could probably talk to somebody for hours about. So if you have any questions or need any information about Real Broker, feel free to reach out. You'll probably find our information down below in the contact. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you over in the next video.